got the chance to talk with Fred, the co-creator of Astro and, of course, CEO of HTML. And he sat down with me and showed me why Astro is blazingly fast. And I would like to say I'm amazed. I actually really enjoyed it. Wait till you see what I have to show you. And at the end of this video, there is a Q&A with Fred. So if you're excited, slap that like button right now. Also, we just got done doing a 24-hour charity with TJ and Bash Bunny, and it was a lot of fun. We raced to build an interpreter. I chose Rust, which was a bad decision, and I had a blast. But I did want to take a quick second and say, hey, thank you, Thorsten Ball, for matching every single book bot donating to the charity. Big thank yous, and all the other people. There's too many names to name. Thank you so much for participating and making a real difference in kids' lives. All right, so let me show you a little bit around Astro. All right, so first off, inside of Astro, there's like the 3 main files in which pages, your named pages are the pages in your route. Your index is just your slash page. If I go in there, you can do things like this, where you can actually import in, this will be executed on the server. Then you can just craft HTML. Now, this is obviously React right here, in which we have a button that if you click it, it says me daddy. And then we just build that, return it along with a div with an ID of foo. Now, this is where it gets wild. Are you ready for this? Let's go over to our site. I'm gonna do a little refresh right here. We're running in dev mode, so there will be some extra printing, but when I push this, look what happens. Nothing happens. Why? Let's look at our network console. Remember, this is dev, so there's extra things being pushed down. But do you see React here? No, there's no React here. That means we rendered it on our server, but our client has nothing. It's just HTML. So that means if I wanted to make this actually do that, we could do an add a little client load here. Let's make this really work out. D2, right? There we go, and I'll do that. So we have one that client loads, one that doesn't client load. When we go back here, you'll see these two. If we go to the console, if I click D2, nothing happens. But if I click Dgens, look at that. Click me daddy. So you get to choose what you want to execute and what you don't want to execute. And it works with Svelte. It works with Solid. It works with React. I believe it works with Vue. It works with all of it. It doesn't work with Wasm. I did ask, can we build a Wasm project? And Fred said no. Hurt my feelings. I told him he sucks. But then I followed up with, I like you still. You know, you're a pretty good guy, Fred. Now, obviously, looking at the tab, you can see right here, we have the React stuff all in here. But let's just say you didn't want to have React. All right, so I'm going to delete that other button, and I'm going to jump over here and delete client load. Now remember, our button loads up 2 things, a button and of course a div with ID foo. So I'm gonna paste this quick script right here, which effectively just goes and grabs the button and does a small amount of interactivity. I know I'm mixing React on the server and just client-side logic. Don't mind that, I just wanted to show you this. Now what it does is it takes a list of names and allows you to kind of just randomly cycle through them. But now here's the cool part. I'm gonna run a quick build on this, kill my dev server, and then I'm going to launch up the server right here. It's gonna be on 3000. I'm gonna refresh this, and what I want you to look at is the network. Look at this, 628 bytes. That is it. I have a little bit of interactivity, a little bit of HTML. You can write blog sites amazingly, blazingly fast, because you're just shipping the JavaScript you want to ship. You're just executing what you want to execute, and you can have this as pure HTML with a little bit of your own script. And it does support React, Solid.js, Vue, Svelte, and one thing that I think is super awesome, just Markdown. So I just took their example, pasted it in markdown.md, built the site, launched the server. Now notice that I'm just launching the server. That means that if you want to host your own, you're not bound to be on some sort of service in which you have to be. You don't have to be on Netlify. You don't have to be on Vercel. You can just go to Linode. And look at this Markdown page, 361 bytes, and that is Markdown. That means you can serve a blazingly fast blog without the kitchen sink included. You won't need a megabyte of JavaScript just to have a pretty button. You can just hand style it if you want to, or you can bring in the kitchen sink if you would like to. I love something that is well built and put together so clean. You know, I often do not rave about a front-end framework. You know this about me. I don't love Node. I think it can be useful, and this is one of those cases where I could see myself writing my personal site in Astro. So if you have a weekend free, you're an Arch user, why don't you go give it a try? See how it feels. Go launch one up on Linode and experience the blazing speed that is Astro. Before we go to Fred, CEO of HTML. And do the Q&A, I did want to say a quick thing. This is a new series I've been thinking about, trying to bring on the creators, the co-creators of these new frameworks coming out. We have TurboPack on its way. Interview them, find out about it, make a cool video about it, and then have like a Q&A where hopefully some of your questions can get answered. If you like this style, send me those algorithmic signals. Hit the like button, press the subscribe button if you're not a part of it, because I mean, what kind of ridiculous person isn't? Actually, about 45% of you are that person. I don't know what's wrong with you. Press it! And of course, leave a comment down below of things you want me to explore, people you want me to talk to, because I don't know what you guys are interested in. I only know what I'm interested in, and I'm gonna just talk to the people that I know. The Q&A with Fred was, of course, held live on twitch.tv/theprimogen, so if you want to be a part of the next Q&A, make sure you are on there. Take it away, me in the past. All right, so let's move into a new part of this, which is just like an open Q&A, some questions that, would you like to field some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the first question I thought was actually really, really good, which is Astro usable as a perfect web dev beginner?
Yeah, so
I don't know what a perfect web dev beginner is, but I assume this person has never typed a piece of code. They're perfectly a beginner.
You don't even need to be perfect. You can be a normal web dev beginner.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the things I'm most proud of with what we've built. Like, we took a while. Like, this is probably 16 months in development before we hit our V1. And that was all about, like, really, like, do we feel comfortable with this .astro syntax? And the reason I'm so happy with it is that it's just HTML. You can obviously do all this really cool, powerful stuff we've been doing, but like, if you're just building a site and you're learning web dev for the first time, we're not going to throw you into like the TypeScript, JSX, React, file-based routing even too much. Like, the idea is it's all just kind of like as simple as possible to start, and then you can ramp up the complexity as you need it.
This whole push towards server components and all this, I wrote Falcor for Netflix. I spent a great deal amount of time doing caching, specifically JavaScript caching, request deduping, request batching, the whole 9 yards, right? So I'm deeply familiar with, even when they lightly gave an overview, I know of tons of issues that they're likely going to run into. How do you feel about this move towards the server components and all that? And do you think that we're going to find ourselves having actually significantly like higher traffic or higher pressure on the servers simply due to all these requests being made that are all server and getting into some bad patterns perhaps?
Yeah, it's definitely a pendulum that seems to be swinging just constantly. Like, I remember reading an old blog post from Gatsby where like they announced Gatsby V2 or something. They're like, Gatsby's fast because we do our work on the client. Like, we do all our work on the client. And like 5 years later, 6 years later, that's like the exact opposite thinking, is that the server is going to be faster, more reliable. Streaming HTML is the answer. We definitely are in that camp. Like, you just don't know what device your user's on. And yes, they're getting faster. The network's getting better, but like, you're still, every line of JavaScript that you're shipping is another potential millisecond, tens, hundreds of milliseconds that's blocking your user from doing the thing your site exists for them to do. So our approach is that, like, yeah, there's probably things if you're at scale to consider around costs, server costs certainly, but for most developers right now, like for Acela and Netlify, they're a fixed cost. So as the actual person building the site, you don't really have to worry about that. I think it's more of a concern around, like, yeah, Netflix scale. Obviously, you need to be considerate about these things, but if you're going by pure user experience, I think there's nothing that matches having the server do most of the work and then streaming the results down to the user.
All right, is Astro reliable to make bigger apps with lots of modules? Does it keep the performance?
Yeah, we use Vite behind the scenes, so we are very much powered by Vite. If you've done any time with Vite, it's this idea of only really compiling and building what you need. So that on the dev server, it's literally like, I did a lot of work with Webpack, and what Webpack would do would take your whole app at start time and build it all, even though you're just going to like load one page. So Vite's really fast. It's really good at scaling to large sites. And then obviously it's really great. We've been really happy with it. Markdown is the other thing which we didn't really touch on here. Having a really fast, reliable Markdown build pipeline for people who are writing blogs, also super important to us. Also something we benchmark regularly. And yeah, we have 10, 50. I don't think anyone's broken 100K posts in production, but yeah, we've definitely bashed this thing against some pretty big scale.
All right, what do you feel about TurboPack? Is there any chance that TurboPack is gonna defeat Vite and even have Astro use TurboPack?
I mean, we moved from, so we started on Snowpack, which is actually something that we built originally before Astro. Yep. Like Snowpack and Vite early competitors in this battle, and then Evan just is awesome and did a good job. So we're like, all right, fine, we'll use V. You all win. We've done the transition before. It's a lot of work. I don't know how Next.js is doing this. It's going to take a long time for that tool to get stable. So we'll cautiously wait.
What would the difference of using Astro or any other framework? Let's say the popular, super popular React with SSR support and Vite. P.S. We need more frameworks. The ones currently available aren't enough to build web applications. Kappa face. I actually don't know what this question is. I should have read it beforehand, because it sounds like what they just said was exactly what you're trying to do with Astro.
Well, like every good interview, I'm just going to pivot this into what I want to talk about, which is one thing that's really cool about Astro, which really surprised us, which is kind of along this line of like which framework to pick. You were kind of trying to push us this direction, which I love. I definitely like noticed that. Like, you don't really need a framework for a lot of stuff on the front end. So the fact that Astro, we give you your HTML, we give you your style tag. You can also just put a script tag on the page. And if you go to our own homepage, every time we've needed something interactive, it's been easy enough to just literally open up a script tag and write a little, like a couple lines of something, or create a web component literally in that script tag. And then you have the HTML that's actually using that web component. Like, there's this like use the platform API thing that is like a lot of people chat about and talk up. But like for us, literally the fact that it's HTML means you literally can do anything HTML does, including just throwing a script on the page that makes some code interactive without even reaching for the 40, 60 kilobytes that React is going to put on your page.